All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about this throw from Thomas Rohler. This throw was back from 2019. It's a throwback, but it's one of my favorite videos to study. This is the video that initially inspired my small, medium, large three crossover throw drill. A lot of you guys have probably done that. It's a huge part of my programming, and I've talked about it before a whole bunch. So the small, medium, large crossover throw drill was inspired by this because you can see in Rohler's throw here, he gets this nice bouncy start. And then as he goes through his three crossovers, you can see each step is getting bigger than the next. Starting right about here, he takes a small crossover, medium crossover, and then a big penultimate step crossover going into the throw. And just a few little things that I want to point out about this. So first is this little roll-in step here. He establishes rhythm before anything else. And you can see that in that rhythm that he's kind of bouncing on his feet here. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. You can see he maintains that same rhythm through the entire series of steps that he takes, right? So we have left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And so the tempo of this throw is established from the beginning in his bouncing steps. From there, right, so we establish the tempo and he carries it through his three crossovers. How is that possible while he's building speed and gaining distance, allowing each crossover to get bigger than the next? That seems counterintuitive, that you can have the same tempo while also accelerating. And what we can see is what Rohler does is he drives his crossovers with his left, we'll just say left leg. And you can see that the size of the crossover comes from how high he lifts that knee in the initial step into the crossover. So right here, he barely lifts his knee at all. In the second crossover, he lifts his knee a little bit higher and drives his knee a little bit further. And then in the next one, he drives his knee the furthest. And that is where the size of the crossovers come from, but it's happening in the tempo that he establishes with his bouncing steps. Then from there, you can see that he's not just getting bigger steps with the left by running through his crossovers, right? Say running through the crossovers. He's getting power and holding posture at the same time by having an active sweeping right leg action. So kind of the way I describe this is that his crossovers are happening in the air. So, and along with that, he's staying light and bouncy on the balls of his feet. So as he is in this, right, he's drove his knee forward as like the engine of the crossovers. But as that left foot is coming down, he's actively sweeping that right foot across. And that allows him to stay upright and it allows him to stay bouncy through this tempo that he's bringing. So you can see the same thing here as that left foot's coming down, that right leg sweeping through, and that sets him up for a very smooth acceleration going into his throw. That's the last big thing that I wanted to point out here is you can point out all the little details you want about how he is moving through his crossovers here. But the most important concept is that you can see that his acceleration is happening smoothly and gradually over the course of these three steps. So it's not choppy. He's not attacking the ground here. Rohler, I imagine the feeling that he has is that he's very in tune and aware of the speed of his center of mass. His horizontal velocity going into attacking his throw is something that I would imagine he's very aware of, whether consciously or unconsciously. And what you can see is that it's almost the metaphor that I use is almost like he is like riding a skateboard, and his left leg is like slowly accelerating his body forward. Or if you've ever rode like a razor scooter, um, and you can feel kind of that idea of he's his center mass is not it's not choppy in how he accelerates each step. He's smoothly rolling through his steps. It's almost like he's floating across the ground. But each step contributes a very precise amount of acceleration. But that comes from being in tune with how fast your center mass is moving horizontally. So it's a little bit of a funny concept if you've never really thought about that before, like smoothness of acceleration. But I mean, a good way of thinking about it is like if you were driving in a car and you alternate between hitting the accelerator and then hitting the brakes, it would be a very jerky ride. And the goal with our crossovers is to eliminate the braking forces as much as possible, while having your foot on the gas to smoothly accelerate forward. And that's like the idea here is in order to do that with good posture, it's going to come from having active legs and letting those crossovers happen. Say in the air, stay on the balls of your feet, and then letting each crossover get gradually bigger than the previous one. That is in the context of this drill. It's a little bit more of a loaded conversation in the context of a full approach throw, but it's really helpful to see that as a concept here. And this is a really good drill to develop that internal awareness of smooth acceleration into your release. So if you have any questions about this, either this throw specifically or just about the concepts that we're talking about, drop a comment on this post. We can get a little conversation going. But otherwise, hope this helps and hope this helps you look at the small, medium, large throws in a little bit more of a helpful way.